All right, everybody, welcome to today's call. We have Franklin Spicer from Pegasus online. I'm sure as many of you know, they provide a number of different products into the marketplace, websites, e-commerce websites, paid traffic, landing pages, SEO, logos, you name it. They're taking responsibility on a lot of great services right now on Agora's end, and we've had some great traction. We've had a number of website purchases, several paid traffic campaigns. We've had a lot of activity so far around these services. So Franklin has been on the call with us once before, and we thought it would be a good idea to have Franklin come back on and talk a little bit more. And Vince, I believe we wanted to kind of focus around paid traffic and landing pages this afternoon, I believe.
Yeah, in particular, we're going to talk about landing pages, and but they do tie in directly with the paid traffic campaigns, but you can use them for multiple things.
Okay, great. All right, Franklin. Well, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and hand the reins over to you. So, yeah, let's talk a little bit about landing pages, the importance of that specifically for paid traffic, and just, how important landing pages really are for folks out there trying to market. Having a great website's one thing, but having some great landing pages can really help get some new business in the door for all of our clients.
Yeah, so let's define what a landing page is. So a landing page is basically a page that has one decision point, meaning, call us or contact us to get started, or download our ebook, or whatever the action is that you want them to take. That's what the landing page is focused around, is that one decision point. So in essence, a website is really landing pages because people are through search landing on your page. Typically, websites are not optimized. They've got multiple things that they're trying to present and to get multiple actions taken, and you've got multiple decision points. And you've also got a menu where people can browse around and look at different pages and that kind of stuff. On the landing page, it's one page. There's no menu. There's one clear call to action, which is, typically the stuff that we're doing, it's contact us, whether calling or filling out the form. And, that's the essence of a landing page. And so with paid traffic, it really depends on the website because, so the paid traffic, the elements are, first, you've got to target the right keywords. Well, first you got to target the right medium, or as far as the right platform. Is it AdWords? Are we targeting people that are searching? They're already searching for your product or services. If not, then are we going to try and do interruptive advertising like on Facebook, where you're trying to you're interrupting people's day, trying to get their attention and trying to get them to take action. Same thing with LinkedIn. It's the same idea, except LinkedIn is more of a business to business as compared to Facebook is primarily business to consumer. It can be also some business to business as well. Or B2B or B2C, to use the acronyms. So which platform is best? Also hooked in with Facebook is Instagram. Instagram typically has a younger audience, it's more image-driven. So that figuring out, first of all, which is the best platform, that's the starting point. Then once you get the right platform and determine which platform is the correct one, then you have to figure out, we'll talk about AdWords because that's the one we do the most work on, is then which keywords, how are people searching, how are we going to get the people that we want, and also negative keywords, which keywords do we not want, so if, negative would be like, a generic one would be like how to. So if someone's searching for air conditioning repair and they type in how to do air conditioning repair, well, then we know that we're going to make the assumption they're not really looking for somebody to do a form. They're trying to figure it out themselves. So we're not going to even waste a time or a possible click in coming up for those searches. So first of all, targeting the right words and targeting and the right negative keywords is the first step. Then when people we use like appliance repair. So if someone types in appliance repair and our ad comes up, then, so getting the first of all would be the keyword, which we just talked about, then getting the right ads. So making sure that the ads are relevant. And so if someone types in appliance repair, then you want your ad to be relevant to that. I'm just trying to remember, let's see, we just set up, as an example for Techline, their ad is now running, and we actually split into, because they have a couple different audiences. They have the Murphy beds that they're doing, and then they also have home office and office furniture. So they're really two distinct categories. So if we put them all into one ad group, and someone types a Murphy bed, and then they see an ad that says, "Hey, we have the best home office furniture," there's that disconnect. So in this case, we have an ad group that's specific for Murphy/wall beds. So when they type in a keyword and they see the ad, it's going to have relevance. It's going to see something about Murphy beds and wall beds, and really specific to those keywords, as opposed to if they type in office furniture or home office furniture, then the ad group is going to be very specific to that. So why am I telling you all this? Because once the ad, so now we've got their search, we've got their attention with the ad, now they click on the ad, where are they going? And that's the big thing. So are we driving them to a website? So once we drive them to the website, if it's very confusing, if it's not relevant, if they don't, so it's in this case, Murphy beds, if they don't see Murphy beds right away, they're going to think they're either in the wrong place, they're being spammed, they're being conned, they're being hacked, whatever it is, but the trust level is not there. Compared to if we send them to a page on the website that's specific about Murphy beds, or we create a landing page that's very specific about Murphy beds. So that's why you need that whole synchronicity, you need that whole connection from the keyword to the ad to wherever they're going to land, whether it's on the website or on a specific landing page. And then I also want to add too that even if the website is really good and is really built for conversion, a lot of times we still build landing pages out because the website may be well done and it's set up, but there's too many variables, there's too many competing things, and we want to get right to the point. Like in this case, hey, here's the Murphy beds, we've got them, here's our experience, here's a few pictures, contact us, schedule a free consultation. Real clear. There's nothing for them to click on, to get lost in, to get distracted. We just want them to make a decision and contact. So a long answer to your short question. So what other questions do you have?
Okay. So one of the things too is I've been selling a lot of these lately, and here also on this page, there's also some variations of landing pages. I want to go a little deeper into that. But one thing that I've been having a really high success with is what he's saying is we send out we do the free traffic analysis, and we send over to the client a video that shows them, hey, this is the amount of traffic that you could potentially get on Google. This is what's happening on Google. This is what's going on with your competitors, and this is what the cost per click is. And we've sold just about every single one that I sent them to. And the ones that haven't, maybe they take a week later, then we close them out. And then when you go into it, then like he's saying, there's a big difference. A lot of people have bad websites, or if they do have a good website, they don't have enough on there. But can you go into a little detail here between the basic, deluxe, gold, platinum, and signature, and kind of tell the difference of each one of these are?
Yeah. So with the landing pages, basically, the first thing we start with is the content writing. So the process is, you see it at the very top, content writing included. So the main differences is that there's content writing, because that's where it starts from. So the content writer is going to put together, is going to interview the client, put together the amount of content that's needed and then it's handed off to the designer, and the designer builds it, and then we're ready to launch. So the different paths. So the basic is you get content writing, you get one revision. So the content writer will write what he thinks, or she, and then the client will then have a chance to do one revision. They can say, hey, can you change this? Can you change that? So as you go through the packages, you get more revisions. You also get, from the gold on up, you get what's market research. So basically with the basic, the content writer is going to talk to the client, get what they want, write up the content, and hand it off to the designer to build the page. With the gold and on up, the content writer is going to do additional research to look at competitors and really do market research to make sure that there's nothing that we've missed. So it's an added value just to make sure that we're looking at seeing what the competitors are doing, that we're not missing anything as far as understanding the market or understanding the niche that that particular client is in. Going down the list here, they're fully responsive. They work on all devices, including mobile. They all include landing page design and building. So the next section is really the defining thing. So how many sections do they get? So on the basic, they get 2 sections. So can you bring up one of the examples of the landing pages that we have? Go with
any particular one.
Go with Payment Solutions Made Easy. This one we just revised because the client actually added another offer, the $25 gift card. And so this is one that's a landing page is being used with a LinkedIn promotion right now. So this is the splash area. So this is where you first see. So this would be one section. Okay. So if you scroll down, then that green bar would be considered a second section. So then if you scroll down, then this would be considered a third section. And if you scroll down, and then we have basically, this would all be considered the fourth section. And I don't think there's anything below this, correct? Yeah. Basically
contact information.
Final call. So there's basically 5 sections here on this one. So with the basic package, they get 2 sections. They get the splash area, which we always includes a call to action. Yeah, always includes the call to action. And then, so it depends on how much information they want. And yeah, so that's basically it. So, you know, if they want more of a long form and they want to give a lot of information and a lot of information is needed to get the client to take action, then the higher packages are designed for that. So basically the Payment Solutions Made Easy, that's at the gold level right there.
Okay, great. Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you want me to pull up any other examples?
Oh, yeah, you can. Let's go back to the list. Let's see.
Maybe,
I think
maybe like a deluxe or something like that.
Well, let's see. A lien law. Let's go with a lien law. The second one down. And while that's, yeah, so here you go. Here's your splash area again. You see a very clear call to action. Now this one is actually a mock-up that we did for a lawyer. This one's not an active page. That's why the number is wrong. But you can see, so now here would be your second section. And here's a third section. So I think this one is 3 sections only. And you see every section we put a call to action in. You know, there's always a buttons. You know, always a call to action. Call or, I'm sorry, this one has 4 sections. And then the footer. We don't count the footer as a section. That's just basically, the footer doesn't count. So this is a 4-section one. And can you go back? Let's show the Tim Salen Realtor one. Yeah, third one down. Then there's one other one I want to show after that as well. So you see right here, very clear call to action. Tim Salen, call now, send Tim a message. So right in that splash area, you know, and then we have, so here's section 2, you know, why choose Tim? And then, you know, we have more points. Then the next section, you know, is this one's, you know, there's the testimonial section that we pulled from Yelp and Zillow. So you can see they look very much like a lot of them look very much like in the front page of websites. And there you go. So you can see call Tim now. The last one I wanted you to show is the dental sleep apnea one. And with this one, so this client's been with us for a year and a half, 2 years now. I forget exactly, but we did their website, we do their local SEO, and we also do their AdWords. Now we built their website, so if you can open a new tab and go bring up dental sleep apnea clinic.com and dental sleep apnea clinic.com. There you go. But yeah, the second one down. We don't want that piece right there. That's the landing page.
Yeah, just cut that out of there, make it easier.
Yeah. So here's their website. So the website is, we built this. It's highly converting. You've got the schedule consultation on the side. You've got the different things he does: the sleep apnea, the TMJ, the snoring, the headaches. And so even though we have this highly converting website, the issue is that we're running for sleep apnea specifically for the AdWords. And so what we did is we built out this landing page that really just connects completely with the ads that we're running. Because when people come into this page, yeah, it does address sleep apnea, but it addresses a lot more, and they can get lost, in the forest here. And what's called bounce, meaning they leave without taking action. So if you go back to the sleep apnea page, yeah, it's a landing page. Here it is. What's the problem? Well, we've got a solution. Call today. Then it's in the next section. Again, we give them more information about what it is we're offering, and then another call to action. Call today, and then we give them more information. Do you have sleep apnea? More information, call today with the address. So we just keep building and giving them more information. A lot of people would just don't even scroll. They just get a little bit and they're right on. And but you can see how this is highly focused. And at the top, there's no menu items. There's nothing that they can click around and go somewhere else. It's make the decision, contact us or don't. And he gets quite a few leads that come through the AdWords off of this, and we also ranking very well for the website, so he gets a lot of organic traffic as well, and leads through his organically through the website. So there's a couple examples.
Very good looking pages. Very good looking pages.
Yeah, and it used to be landing pages used to be very simple, but now they're more like websites. The other thing is we have it's a 16-point checklist that our content writer and our designer is trained in. And so with that checklist, these are the 16 things that a landing page must have. So when the content writer is building that, he or she is going through that checklist after they've written the content, make sure we're hitting all the points, and the same thing with the designer as well. Yes, and so you're looking at some of the differences in packages. As you scroll down, you'll see the higher packages also have more integration. They connect with Google Analytics and AdWords. There's also, as you get into higher packages, there's split testing. Split testing is a really valuable tool because typically what split testing means you'll have at least 2 versions of the page running at any one time. And basically we set it up so that they're not randomly, but split 50-50. And then we can see what's performing. Because sometimes it's interesting doing split tests. It could be the same exact copy, but just the image, just having a different image gets them to take action, or different headline, or, so having the split testing is a really good way to really refine, and and that's why on the ads we always start with at least 2 ads, because we want to split test to see which ad's going to perform, and if we get one that's not, then we remove that and put in another one. So we always have at least 2 going, depending on which package you're with, to make sure that we're getting the most and the best engagement and the best return on investment.
Hey, Franklin, I actually do have a question for you. Multi-step lead capture form.
Yeah, so the multi-step basically So if you, like the other ones that you looked at, they were just single steps. Multi-step basically means that it could be multiple parts. Hey, put in your email. You could have a questionnaire. Especially if you're delivering content, right? Like if you're doing an ebook or you're delivering content, or you want to have different types of audiences. It's basically multi-step can be used for a variety of things, but it's mostly if you have more than one thing in the capture form. Like the ones we looked at are very simple. It's like, hey, here's the information, and then we say thank you. But if you need more information, or you're trying to do an upsell, then, like, hey, thanks for your information. We also have, so especially if you're doing like a lead magnet where you're trying to sell something, hey, here's, get our lead magnet for $7. Then you could also, at the next step, say, well, hey, thanks for your, but for $47, we've got this piece here. So that's one of the ways you can use a multi-step lead capture form. They're not used a lot, but they do have value at some, at times. And then also, as part of the capture, is then also the customizable confirmation thank you messages, which are really important as well because, typically you will say thank you, thanks to you, you will respond to you within the next day or whatever. But having it where it's more customizable is important because then you can have a more detailed message about what the expectations are, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit more personable, for the individual who's putting in their information. So
I also do want to talk about the heat maps. The heat maps is a really interesting thing because with heat maps, you can actually view how people are moving through the page. So like the pages we looked at, with a heat map, it'll show us how far down they scrolled. It'll show us where they moved their mouse, what they hovered above, what they clicked on. Yeah, heat maps are another really great way to get a really visual representation and to see, where people are bailing out, how far down are they going, how, where they moving. And then you can also make recordings. You can actually watch how people navigate around your site, which is kind of Big Brother-ish and a little scary at times, but you don't know who they are, but you just know a session. You can watch a session and just see how people move, and it's really good. Especially when combined with split testing, to really understand how people are engaging with the with the landing page. And heat maps can also be used on websites as well. To really understand how people are engaging with the website or the landing page, and where improvements can be made to get better conversion, better engagement and conversion.
I have a question for you, Pegasus or Franklin, about the heat map part of it. Is now that's great. First of all, I want to say that because it's really important to know where you're losing them or where you're getting their attention, because it's all about converting on these landing pages. You want to get the lead, you want to convert that, or you want the lead to convert. So if they're landing on the page in about first or second section, then they just disappear. Then and that's happening a lot. Then you might want to take a look at some of the information at the top, and figure out maybe why you're losing them. But my actual question to you, Franklin, is this: have you guys ever in the past had it to where you realized, based on these heat maps, that you're capturing the person's information in a certain section of the website, like the second or the third, for example, and have you ever rearranged it to maybe put the second or third section up top to try to get them faster? Or at that point, does it matter because they're converting, and it doesn't really matter if they're converting on the second or third section? I'm just kind of curious if you guys have ever rearranged the sections because one section's been so hot,
Typically, there's two things that we've done recently. We always make sure that the main call to action is in that splash area, because they may never scroll. What it shows us is, so typically what we'll do is we'll make content adjustments. I can't think of where we've actually moved sections around. I'm trying to remember. It's more just seeing how we get them to engage and how far down they're scrolling, and making sure that the relevant information is there. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, there was one where we actually shifted up a piece of information. So that would be, we didn't actually move the section. The section we shifted information. So
kind of relocated some content.
Yeah, relocated. Not really, it's changing the sections, but just relocating some of it. Actually, on a website that we were just finishing, we did a while ago, we put the heat map on it, and we actually are just getting ready to roll out a complete redesign of the homepage, which was all based on that information that we got from the heat maps, because we realized that there was just some. She has two distinct audiences coming in, and we weren't splitting them properly. So, watching the heat maps and watching how people navigated, we were able to figure that out, and we basically have redone their whole homepage to accommodate for that new information.
That's great. Yeah, no, I mean, that's what I know that one thing in particular that I love about you guys and everything that you offer, paid traffic, landing pages, websites, you guys really are looking at that data and seeing how people are moving around and really making the changes that's going to help convert and benefit the customer the most, based on what their audience is doing. So that heat map and just having that kind of analytical data is super, super important when managing a website, a paid traffic campaign, a landing page, so on and so forth. And one thing I particularly like about these landing pages is that the hosting is free and the domain name is included.
Exactly.
And this is a one-time purchase. Okay, so if they purchase a basic, deluxe, gold, any of these different landing page package, they own it. They buy it, it's theirs, it's a one-time fee, they get everything that's included, and they own it. So I think that's really important. That's been a question that gets asked a lot, so I just want to kind of bring that up, where the free hosting and the domain, I know that's been a great benefit. Just had a client last week that I was talking to, and we got him on a paid traffic campaign, and I suggested a landing page, and he really enjoyed the idea, so I kind of explained to him what the landing page works and really what the purpose of that landing page is, and he goes, well, do I need to contact my website guys, to get that built onto our website? And I said, you can, but it would be a lot faster if you just let Pegasus do the domain and host it. And he goes, oh, I didn't realize that was included. And I said, yes, it's included. So he was very happy about that. And, that it's owned, right? You pay it one time, it's yours. You can use it for any marketing efforts that you ever do down the line, whether it's a paid traffic campaign with Pegasus or you're doing something else, that business is doing something else, that page is theirs. And they can, direct people to it however they please.
Yeah, and one other thing I want to add too, if you scroll down, one of the other things that's really important as well is the email marketing integration. I'm trying to think, there was one we just did recently where, we're running a Facebook campaign for an author who's got a book on network marketing, basically. And so one of the calls to action is to read the book. Right here, get a free sample of the book. And what he doesn't have is the MailChimp or Constant Contact, or there's a number of them out there, but there's just a number of ways to do it. But MailChimp a lot of people know MailChimp. It's really important for those kind of things, instead of just when they click and then giving them the free chapter, is to have them fill out their information, go to let's say MailChimp for this example, go to MailChimp, set up an autoresponder that says, hey, thanks for your interest, here's your free download to read the book. So now if he did have a MailChimp, this would be a perfect place for him to capture that information. Then he's going to grow a list of people that are warm leads or have expressed interest. Then he can market directly to them through that list. So the email marketing is a really powerful tool and should be used as much as possible, because if you got people like in this thing, getting a free sample or buying a lead magnet type of product, you really want to be able to market to them afterwards.
I have a question.
You can keep. Oh yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so do they have to have a website to have the landing page?
No. Then so basically the way that works is with the landing pages, we will host it, and we buy the domain, and we point it we point it to where we're hosting it. So they've got a URL that's completely independent, even if they did have a website. Now, like on Dental Sleep Apnea Clinic, on that one I was showing you, we've actually embedded the landing page as within the website, but when you're there, can you click on that tab?
No.
Jeremy? Well, that's the website, but the one right next to it. See, so if you look up in the address bar, there's Dental Sleep Apnea Clinic, and the page runs underneath of it, but you see it's separate. It doesn't have the menu. It doesn't have access to anything else that's on the website. But a lot of times we just run them independently, and then we have it set up where we can just run them independently, and we purchase the domain name, which then points.
Yeah. How do you help with the ratings with Google? Because I'm sure. How do you get their landing page on Google? Part of it.
Well, so the landing page is for paid traffic, right? So that's to get it on Google is the paid traffic campaign, which is in this particular case would be Google AdWords. So running a Google AdWords campaign for them, and then taking them into the landing page from that campaign.
Right.
It's not organic. It's not going to show up in the organic search results. These are all designed for paid traffic campaigns, whether it be on Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram.
What about Yellow Pages, like yellowpages.com? Can they put a landing page in the directory of Yellow Pages?
Well, it's not a website. It's really designed. Landing pages are designed with one decision point. So for Yellow Pages, any of those local directories, they really need a website. This is not an alternative to a website. It's an alternative to a website for paid traffic, but not for local directories and just organic in general.
Yeah, I'll give you an example, like a client that I had mentioned last week, orthodontist, and he does metal braces and Invisalign and several different things. And if we were doing paid traffic directly to his main website, the person who's looking for, let's just say the person was particularly interested in Invisalign, and this was something that really helped in selling him this landing page. As I explained to him, I said, look, if you are trying to focus in on Invisalign, that's really where you want new clients to come from, is when they're searching Invisalign. Then right now it's not behooving you to have them go to your main website. Now, yes, it's good when you have a visitor on your website, that's traffic, and that's important. But when they get to your website, there's very little talk. I think there was almost zero talk about Invisalign. I said, so if that's really what you want and that's where you're trying to get people, then we need to have a landing page that's specific just for Invisalign or metal braces, right? Whichever area that you're trying to get people to come from, that's where you need to focus in on, and that landing page needs to be only specifically about that. They get to the landing page, it talks to them about Invisalign, tells them to call you, tells them to book a free consultation, whatever that call to action is. So that makes sense.
It's based on keywords, right? You guys put keywords into the landing page, so it's when they do the search.
Well,
the ads. Go ahead, Franklin.
Yeah, the keywords are so like in this example here, there are keywords that are relevant, but we're not trying to get organic traffic. We're trying. So like if you go back to the website, that is designed that's got keywords in it, and it's designed to get rankings. I think we're 2/3 or 3/4 of the keywords we're targeting are all on the first page now. We've been working with them for, like, say, about 1.5 years. So that's that piece. On the paid traffic, we do target keywords that people are searching for that are relevant to the ads that we're running. Does that make sense?
So you do put keywords in the content, so Google pulls them up by keyword. No?
No, you're confusing two pieces. There's when someone does a search. So Jeremy, if you can just bring up. So type in sleep apnea clinic, or just type in sleep apnea Portland. Yeah. And so here, okay, so the ads, then there's no ads. Typically the ads will show at the top, but not always. But typically the ads, so this is all organic traffic here. Okay, so if you, so let's scroll back. So they've got the ad showing at the bottom. This is, right. But this is Google. We don't have any control. All we can do is, but what I'm going to show you is if you see right there in the top of the maps, Dental Sleep Apnea Clinic, we've got them ranking #1 down, right there. We've got them ranking #1 there.
And that's organic, right? That's organic.
That's organic, yeah. Oh. So this is where targeting keywords really matters to get organic traffic. And then if you scroll down, we also got them their website on the first page as well. I think it's a little further down. I just saw it. There they are. Yeah. So they're on the first page in the Google Local or Google My Business, which is the Maps piece, and then also this is their website. And then if we scroll down, then you'll see the ads. So the ads, let's see, so they probably already hit their budget today, so their ad is not showing. So these are ads. Typically the ads always show at the top, typically. Like if you hit refresh on this, Jeremy, see if it brings ads up at the top.
When you said they hit their budget, who hit their budget? The people paying for the ads?
Yeah, so Dental Sleep Apnea Clinic, I don't remember their exact budget. If it's
you have a budget that's already exceeded it. Okay. So
so once you hit your, here's an Invisalign. So you can see the ads at the top. So the ads will show as long as there's budget, and as soon as you hit your budget, the ads stop showing. So that's the advantage of having. So you really want to be found in 3 places. You want to be found here in the ads. You want your ad in the top 4. Then you want to be found in the top 3 here in the Google My Business, Google Local. There's a couple different names. Let's go. And then you want to be found on the first page in this organic section. That's the top. So that's the 3. The 3 places. And if you can be found in all 3, that's the best way, right?
So that's just for websites, right? Can you do landing pages the same way?
Landing pages are tied into the ads. So these ads right here, they're going to drive you either to a website or a landing page.
I got you.
Yeah, so landing pages.
I'd click on it, but I don't want to burn up these orthodontist clicks, So
you by clicks, pay per click.
Yeah, they're paying per click, so we don't want to, for cost them money. But so you can see the ads, and so when you ask about keywords, there's 2 components. There's the organic side, and on the organic side, you want to rank organically for keywords that are relevant and will drive traffic. On the paid traffic side, you want to rank for, or you want to target keywords and you're bidding on keywords to show, like here, Invisalign. That would be a keyword that we would bid on, and we're doing that. I just lost my train of thought. We're bidding on that keyword to get shown, the ad to get shown, and what we're looking for is keywords that have intent, right? So, like braces, braces.
I just did clear. I did clear braces, right? Invisalign, so kind of the clear braces.
Now, clear braces.
Another way of.
Right, or if you typed in kids clear braces, now that keyword shows, that search term shows a lot of intent. Now with that one, we will figure that if someone types in kids clear braces, then there's a lot of intent. They're really considering it. Right, there you go. That's another example. But if they just type in braces, are they talking about braces for teeth? Are they talking about wooden braces? Are they building something and they need, metal braces for their, there's that ambiguity. I can't even say it, but you know what I'm saying. So we're looking for keywords that show a lot of intent, and we're also filtering out words that show that they're trying to do it themselves, like Invisalign. Like if they typed in how to become certified for Invisalign, we don't want that, because that means they're a dentist or something that's trying to learn how to to get that as part of their practice. So how to would be one of those negative keywords, which we don't want. We don't want anything that has that.
I guess I don't understand how you get the landing page found.
So the landing page. So if you
Without a paid for traffic.
Yeah. So let's go back to the Invisalign. So basically, the landing page is driven off of right there. So if he clicks, we set it up so that it drives him right to the landing page.
But he's paying for those keywords. You're bidding on those keywords, Google keywords.
Yeah.
There's more to it than just having a landing page.
Exactly.
To get it found. Okay.
Right, exactly. So you bid on the paid traffic, you bid on the keywords, you then have to drive them to an ad like here that's relevant and it gets their attention, and then when they click, we then drive that click to the landing page to get them to take the action that we want them to take.
So Google won't let them buy keywords for organic?
No.
They won't. Oh, they're paid for. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they
and that's
Google,
why we do a lot of training here on Google. With Agora, because there are a lot of moving parts here. Yeah. And when we teach the 5 pillars of the internet, it's really important to understand, what's happening on Google, because everyone usually starts with the search engines or with the search. So these ads are really important to understand how Google finds things, and then the directories, reviews, the SEO. And so we're just teaching right now the landing page strategy, which is really important to understand because, one, it can happen a lot faster because if you're trying to depend upon SEO in your website, that could take 6 months to 12 months to take place, where this can happen right away within a couple weeks. As soon as the landing page is built, it can happen actually same day because as soon as it starts running the ad will show up right there. You could also spend thousands of dollars on your SEO to get it to show up in the organic area, and then Google could change its algorithms and you could get buried, or a competitor could come in and bury you. So really, in the long run, this is really one of the best forms of advertising and the quickest and the least expensive that people get up in these searches. And like I said earlier, when we run that video, he'll actually, Franklin goes into detail and shows how many clicks are taking place in Google for each keyword, also what's taking place with the competitor, and also what the price per click is, which is very valuable information. So this strategy with the landing page and with pay-per-click is very, very powerful, very needful, and it's very effective, and it can really help a business grow right away. The reason you want to go to a landing page also, like you said, is because you're directing them a focus. Like, for instance, I just picked up a client last week, and he does heating and air, but he also, so like during the summer months, he's going after ACs, but he's not going after heating, right? In the winter months, he's going after heating. So he would want a different campaign based upon that, just like a plumber, right? So there's different areas. You can have one business that has different services, and they can focus just on that one service or that keyword, because one keyword could be tons of people searching just for that one area. And so you really want to spend the time and energy on that one area.
Yeah, I have a little bit of knowledge because I used to sell digital marketing for Yellow Pages, and they offered landing pages and they offered positions on the front page of Google with keywords. And but I'm just but with a landing page, it's just going to get lost. I used to call it like in the universe, unless they have a driver. So they can't just do a landing page. They have to also take in consideration there's a campaign, an AdWord campaign they have to be willing to pay for.
Exactly. And the thing with Yellow Pages is what they're calling landing page, they're really directory pages. They're not really giving them a true landing page. It's more just a generic directory page. That's what they're offering them. The landing pages we're talking about are really focused. They address the problem. Here's the solution. Here's the action we want you to take. They're really, really focused as opposed to just a generic directory page. Yeah, it is in fact a landing page because people do land on it, but it's not in its real essence. It's not a true landing page. Just like a website, people land on it. They land on various pages, but they're not. There is that difference between landing pages It's the one decision point.
Landing pages are very effective. It goes straight to the call to action.
Exactly.
But I just want to make sure if I talk to someone, they also understand it. Because $216 for a basic landing page, that's an awesome price. And they'll get all excited, but they have to understand there's more than just that.
Exactly. Exactly. And then, Jeremy, can you show where the analysis request is? So one of the things that I offer is, so if you go to, if you have a client or someone you think,
side of paid traffic underneath
go to
forms.
paid traffic, and then we do the free online analysis, and so there's a couple examples that we've done. And so basically what you do is you fill out that form, you give me some basic information. I'm going to go through and look to see what the opportunities are. So, I'm going to look to see, is there opportunities with paid traffic? Is there opportunities organically? Is there opportunities, or what are the competitors doing? And,
and that's at no cost to them? That's free?
That's free, yeah. And you'll get a video. So what you'll get back is a video where I go through all this information and show you. It's typically what are the events, about 5-10 minutes, I think. The videos.
Yeah, between 4 to 6, 8 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're in less than 10 minutes. You get a wealth of information. And I look at competitors to see where you can watch some of those examples. But I look at a competitor and I can see where they're getting their traffic from, and what keywords are driving them traffic, and what percentage, and where they're ranking for, and what the opportunities are.
Because I never quite understood the bidding. You literally, the price of the keyword changes daily on the bid, like the market, the auction. Is that right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
There's point of auction, and you're bidding on it like in an auction. Yeah,
exactly. And Google, Google AdWords is a deeply complex system. Basically they have their AdWords Express, which they try and bait people into. So basically AdWords Express is like if you walked into a casino and handed them your money and said, hey, bet this for me and tell me if I win. Well, you're probably not going to win, and that's what AdWords Express is. So you can burn a lot.
Bing is a lot of people don't know that Androids, the search engine, the default search engine for Androids is Google, and then for the Apple phones, it's Bing. A lot of people don't know that. Did I lose you?
Yeah, no. We don't really deal with Bing because typically what I see is Bing is about 10% of the market share of what Google is.
Okay.
Yeah. Google and our Bing and Yahoo will drive about 10% of what Google is.
So even if you have iPhone, I have Safari, I still go to Google to do a search, even on Safari. So a lot of people still will because they have Gmail accounts. And also this brings up a really good question. One, it's great pricing, but two, there are a lot of do-it-yourselfers out there, and they don't realize that how much money, like the example of the casino's good, but a lot of people will put together a landing page themselves. They don't realize how much science, thought, and there's tons that goes into it. It's not just, it might look like a simple page, a one-pager, but the pictures, the calls to action, where things are placed, how they're presented. Exactly. There are so many factors that go into that it is worth it. And even in AdWords, it's totally worth it. And so what we have here, number one, it's very affordable what we're doing here, but very needful because people can't come in here easily and just do this themselves. Like this looks simple, but there is so much thought that goes into this because you're looking to get a lead or a conversion so they can, and that also increases the return on investment, the ROI to the business owner. So if they were to go to do it themselves, one, and there's the things you look for. Like, let's say they do the AdWords. Well, they could put that up there, and Google might have them clicking on all types of stuff, right? That's not really 100% accurate. They're trying to blow that money or use that money up. They want to make sure they get all that money spent. And then or people may not click on the offer. Your competitors might be beating you out, like in the where you're being placed, when you're being placed, the timing, the keywords, and how much you're spending. And then they could come to your page, and then they may not click on anything and buy. So those are multiple issues that have to be addressed. One, are people clicking on your ad? Are the right people clicking on your ad?
Yep.
And when they come over to your page, are they converting? Like, how much is it converting into an actual customer? And there is a lot of thought, a lot of science, and that's why, Franklin, what he's showing here, there is so much to make this happen. And then, like those heat maps, then they narrow down to get the highest level of conversion for the customer. And sometimes this has to be worked on a little bit. You put something together, you don't get enough results on it. You start saying, okay, people are coming here, no one's clicking. So you change things up. But once you get it right, you can apply tons and tons of money. So it's kind of like on Google. If you gave me $1 and I gave you $50 for each one, how many $1 would you give me? And that's how these pay-per-click campaigns can be. Like, if I spend X amount of money, I know I will get this much traffic, and out of this I'll get this level of conversion, and with this level of conversion I'll make this much money. How much money then should I spend towards this campaign right here? Because that's really what it boils down to. And that's where you end up with lawyers having $10,000 a month budgets or more, because they've done the math on it and the conversion is high enough where they get a big client or a huge $1 million client, and it's worth it to them to spend money like that.
Yeah, their ROI, the return on investment, is paying out.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, that's really what it boils down to. And if it's done right, and there's no contract, I'll say one thing. There's no contract on this either. So we have to be good at what we do, and we have to perform. Otherwise, they won't continue to do it.
Yeah.
Do the pay-per-clicks, do they change on a daily basis how much they cost, or do they have like a budget, and then they have to, you guys have to stay in that budget, or?
Well, so the way that we work it is, we do the setup, and so a client has to be able to spend at least $10 a day, so they have to be able to spend $300 a month, and that's just to get into the game. If that's too much for a client, then it's not the right fit for them.
Right.
So a minimum of $10 a day. Now, what does that get you? Now, if we're in an area where we're targeting and we're getting basically $1 a click on a niche where it's $1 a click, when they're going to get 10 clicks a day. If we're in another one where it's the average, and these are just averages, is $5 a click. Now they're only going to get 2 clicks per day. So in my analysis, what I do is I do a preliminary analysis. I grab some of the related keywords, and I look to see what the potential is and what Google is estimating the cost is going to be. And typically Google always underestimates. If they'll say 3, then it's probably 4, because they want people to use their system. But we get an idea. So hopefully I answered your question. I kind of lost track of what you were talking about, the budget.
Yeah. Yeah, because she keeps going back to the cost, the ad. We did a whole call on that.
So now I know what my point is. Sorry about that. I was watching them move around and I lost. So the point is, it does change. And what we do is, especially the first month, we're in there monitoring and adjusting a lot, because we got to make sure that we're targeting and we're bidding high enough. Typically, we go in very conservative, and then Google will say, hey, if you want to be on the first page, like let's say we're bidding $3, they'll say you need $4.61 to be on the first page. So we adjust, and we're constantly adjusting.
So that's how they play that. I was wondering how they do the auction.
Yeah, so they're adjusting based on demand, and they don't tell you exactly their algorithm. I mean, we know how to optimize, and just like a casino, you don't know exactly how those machines are working, but there's people that have ways to optimize betting and bids and all that. So that's what we're doing is we're optimizing to get the number one, get at the top, and then get the cheapest clicks as possible, because as an example, there's a local up here in Portland, actually they're in Vancouver, Washington, a house cleaning service, and he did it himself, and and I'm like, well, it took me a while to convince him because we did some other work, and then he said, well, here, you try it. So we went in and we completely redid his campaigns, and I could see there was a lot of mistakes he had done. There's just a few decision points that most people are going to make the wrong ones, and it's going to cost you a lot of money. And but we know where those decision points are, and we know how to optimize. And so we're getting him cheaper clicks, and we're getting him about 20% increase in traffic and calls. Just based on the campaign that we set up.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, there's a very big strategy that goes behind the paid traffic of the landing pages. And one thing I still have up on my screen right now is the sleep apnea, because I wanted to bring this up. Is I'm not an expert in sleep apnea, but I happen to know a little bit about it. My father-in-law, my brother-in-law, they both have it, and they've stayed at our house before and they've been visiting. And let me tell you, they're noisy sleepers. Okay, very loud snores. You can tell they have a very hard time breathing, and they both have CPAPs. But of course, being just being stubborn, they don't wear them as often as they're supposed to. And I've asked my father-in-law before, I'm like, hey, if you're supposed to be wearing your CPAP and it helps with your breathing and all of that, how come you don't? He goes, it's uncomfortable. I hate wearing it. I can't sleep because I got this thing on my face and the strap around my head, as you can kind of see in this background image. They have to wear like this little thing, on their head, and it's uncomfortable. So I can tell what's been done here is, are you suffering from sleep apnea, having trouble with your CPAP? A lot of people don't like them. They're uncomfortable. They're hard to sleep with. So this is really talking about an alternative. So you see those three questions. Are you suffering? Are you having trouble with it? Are you looking for an alternative? Here's the solution. Try an oral appliance as opposed to your big CPAP headgear. So if somebody's suffering from sleep apnea and they're tired of dealing with their CPAP, then they could go with an oral appliance, a mouthpiece essentially, that will do the same thing that the CPAP does. It helps them breathe. They don't have the snoring and all of that stuff. So very, very strategic here on these landing pages, and all of those paid traffic in the landing pages are built around that strategy. Finding the problem. Here's the solution for it. Act on that.
Hey, and I want to add one more thing too, is with the landing pages, they can have multiple uses. Let's say if we're doing a AdWords campaign and a Facebook campaign, there's times when we'll drive them both to the same landing page because we're positioning, even though they're different platforms, we can still use the same landing page because we're targeting the same kind of audience.
One thing also is choosing the right pictures. The pictures play such a big deal in the landing pages.
Yeah.
Because a picture really is, in video too. In video will increase. Look a little farther down, and we've got a video on here, like, and getting reviews on here, the contact page. There's a lot that goes into it, like I said earlier. But yeah, these pictures, videos, all these little things that seem little are actually high. There's been studies done to show how to get higher conversion on it. Because it's all about, getting your phone to ring or someone to respond.
And that might look kind of like a funny picture, but that to me, I know a little about sleep apnea, and if obviously somebody's looking at this page, it's because they have it, or somebody, maybe their spouse has it and they're trying to find them help. That picture right there says it. When you have sleep apnea, you snore very, very loud if you don't have some sort of mouth appliance or, oral appliance or a CPAP. So there you go. The wife's like, oh my gosh, my husband's just snoring, right? He has sleep apnea. And somebody who knows about that picture right there is going to speak a lot to him. There's probably lots of spouses like, yep, that's me at night.
and then go down to the bottom, Jeremy.
A lot of you'll see with a lot of your clients, when they try to describe their business, they describe what they do, and instead of why they're doing, what the problem is and why they have a solution. They describe what they're doing. Hey, we have this and we offer this and this and this, without addressing the problem. The other thing that they tend to do is they tend to be very heady because they're thinking about their business and they're thinking about. So playing off of here, you can see we picked images that are visceral, that connect with people emotionally. The information will connect with their head, but the images have to really connect viscerally. This one here, the guy's pulling his mask off. You can tell he's irritated. So having those visceral, we spend a lot of time really getting the right images that are visceral, and not, because most people are just way too heady but most people make decisions from their emotions as opposed to their intellect. So we give them landing pages that have both elements, because everybody assimilates information differently. So you got to make sure you're visceral as well as intellectual, and you can see that on this page as an example.
Because of time, and Jeremy, real quick, scroll all the way down to the bottom of that page.
Yeah, and we did have one other question in chat that I want to make sure we get to before we wrap up here. So
keep going all the way down, keep going, and there you go. Happy sleepers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Let's do the one question, then we need to wrap this over our time, and then Jeremy can show the commissions on there. And
so this is going. This is going back a little bit when we were talking about the heat map. But Andy, you had a question. Are you still online with us? Andy, would you like to ask your question to Franklin?
Make sure he's not muted out, Jeremy.
I don't think he is. He might not be on here anymore. Okay, so anyways, the question, Franklin, was if the heat map tracks...
There we go.
There you go, Andy. Okay. Hey, why don't you go ahead and ask your question there, Andy? About the heat map.
Sorry. This is a while ago when we were talking about the heat maps. I was just wondering, does that heat map actually time this time? Is there a timer on it? Like how much time they spent looking at something, or is it just track what they've clicked on, or that kind of? Then that's what it's basically for.
Yeah, it's really to look at how they're interacting. I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember off the top of my head if the heat maps actually do include a time on it. I don't remember that. Typically, we get that information from the analytics, right? So Google Analytics will tell us how long they're spending and how fast they're moving.
Oh, really?
Off
Okay.
Yeah. So you can see, like on the second level package, we start integrating it with AdWords and the analytics so that we can get that level of detail. I've never really looked in heat maps to see how much time. I'm more concerned about how far down are they scrolling, where they're moving their mouse, what's catching their attention, what are they clicking on. But it's a good question. I'll have to look at it. I don't know off the top of my head on that one.
Yeah. Who's controlling the screen? Could they scroll it down so I can see the pricing at the top? If you just you can move it up a little bit if you want. I just wanted to see the price levels and the names. That's all. Okay, thank you. That's all.
Okay.
And Jeremy, why don't you go over the prices real quick?
Yeah, I'll highlight on that a little bit more.
So and then we'll close out the call.
Let me jump back over. Okay, here we go. So in the Plans tab, underneath the landing pages, so what we just showed up, or what I was just showing on the screen, is this right here. So if you click anywhere it says here, it'll actually bring up that Google form that we were just looking at. So you have your basic, deluxe, gold, platinum is signature. So to kind of get a feel for what's different, what you're getting, what you're not getting, you would want to reference this document right here. But here's the name of the package, what the price goes for, what it normally goes for, because we do have a discount for our clients. And as far as and those are one times, and here's what the commissions look like. So we'll just kind of go middle here. Gold goes for $397. $107.19 is the CV that goes into the comp plan. So as the advisor, you make about $50 on the landing page. So not too bad.
Yeah, and again, this is in conjunction with the paid traffic campaigns, right? Because this is a one-time thing, but really the money is in the paid traffic, because our job is to keep getting them results so that they stay with us on a month-to-month basis and continue, and that's really where the residual comes in, because they work together.
Yeah, and here's the commission. That's a great point. Here's the commissions for the paid traffic. So on the landing page, you're getting a one-time commission, but if they have a landing page, they're obviously going to have some sort of paid traffic. Now there's roughly 6 different paid traffic campaigns to go with. We have a lot of people kind of go on the starter, right? It's as far as the budget goes, it's very affordable. It's $324 today and then $177 a month. That's the management fee, and that allows them to spend up to $500 a month on ad. Like Franklin was talking about earlier, they can spend up to $500, on clicks, so roughly about $17 a day. Okay. However, if they don't want to spend the full 500, they'll just tell Franklin and his team, hey, I'm willing to spend 3.25, 375, 4.5, whatever the dollar amount is. They're going to work that out with the client. But Franklin said, and this is very important to keep in mind, is to have to spend at least a minimum of $10 a day or $300 a month, or you're not even in the game. It's not, that client would be essentially wasting money, because if they can't afford to spend at least $10 a day, they're not going to get results. They're not going to see the results that they're hoping for. So it's going to be a very bad example for them if they're not willing to spend at least that much. So at a minimum, on a starter package on a paid traffic, if they have the 177 management and then they said, yeah, okay, I'll spend the minimum of 300, they're looking at all in that month $477, or they could spend as high as $677 if they wanted to use the full 500 ad spend. And if you look on the paid traffic, yeah, go ahead, Vince.
I was going to add a couple things in there too. Don't forget, these are no contract. These are really big selling points, because I was talking to a guy a couple weeks ago, and he said, man, everyone wants a 6-month contract to even do this. And they also want to start you with at least $1,000, and they collect all the money. So there's a couple great selling points here. One, there's no contract, right? So we have to perform to keep them going, which puts a lot of pressure on us. But we're actually, Pegasus is that good, right? Franklin's that good at it.
Yes.
Number two, a lot of companies, they won't even let someone get in the game on these lower amounts. No one will even do it. So they have it at these lower amounts, but the whole goal is to get them to go higher. So you can get a client that starts on a starter package, but the goal is they should be moving up into like a gold or a platinum, managing a lot more money and applying more to it. But a lot of people won't even try because it's too much to start, right? So they have to get their feet wet a little bit before they're going to dive all the way in the pool. So the way we have this set up is really ingenious. We give them a free analysis. And that free traffic analysis that we were showing earlier? There's companies that will charge up to $200 just to do that research for a company. He not only does the research, and the reason why Frank said he doesn't do it in just hand over like the paperwork, he does it in the video, because the video explains more and they can hear someone explaining it. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to understand the data, right? So we are seeing such huge results with what we're doing right here. It's converting clients, it's helping them, it's getting them competitive, it's getting them where they don't have to spend as much, it's educating them. And so I would really recommend that you guys go through and watch the videos on the paid traffic, the video, the SEO. Now you have this one. Because if you can really understand this, we have really put something together here really awesome that really does help business owners, and they really do need it. And they will go other places and they will get burned. They will be unhappy, or they'll spend a lot more extra money. Another thing, too, is we put a management fee on here, and we use the customer's credit card. So they know exactly how much is going towards their campaign, and most companies charge 50% of the campaign. So if they're going to spend $1,500, the companies normally take $750. What do we hear, like a third or something? So this is a less expensive route too. So I'm telling you, we have a winner here, and Franklin just put together a great. We have a great strategy with Franklin. This does work. If you educate yourself on this, you can help a lot of people and you can make a lot of money. So Jeremy, you want to close it out there?
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up about really knowing what the management fee is versus what the client's spending per month. That's definitely music to the customer's ears when you tell them that, hey, you're going to have your set management fee, so you'll know exactly what's actually going towards the spend. That's very important. And when I've mentioned that to clients, I could tell based on their responses that they were very happy with the way that was done, because they have, some clients you're going to run across have done paid traffic, or have had paid traffic campaigns before in the past, and like Vince said, they might be spending $1,000, $1,500, $5,000 a month, and they don't really know how much of that monthly is really going towards the ad side of it. So this is a very true, honest, easy way to know exactly or for the client to know exactly where their dollars are going. So, all right, everybody. Well, it was a great call today. We covered paid traffic and landing pages. I think we covered a lot. We had some great questions and some great conversations. So if you're listening to this recording in the future, thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and thank each and every one of you who stayed with us through the call live today, and we'll see you on the other side soon.